It's certainly my pleasure to be here today in the beginning of a new school year. I know this is your third day as students. The teachers have been here a while. This is my sixth day as superintendent, so I feel like we started this journey together, and I'm certainly excited about it. I look forward to this year, and I'm particularly excited about being a part of this community and being a part of this new facility. I have been through the school. I have recognized the quality of the construction there and the opportunities that it provides for our students here in the Phelps area, and I certainly am excited to be a part of that. This is the first welcome back opportunity I've had for students. I've been to a few schools, but it's refreshing to see the people that we serve here, and it's a great opportunity for you to be here. I think it's a wonderful building, as you're going to see later on. I'm so excited about being there, and as nice as that facility is, my focus is to try to provide the kind of quality instruction on the inside of that building that the exterior reflects. It's a wonderful opportunity for kids in terms of a facility, and we want it to be a wonderful opportunity for kids in terms of what goes on inside that building. I certainly am thankful, grateful, and impressed with the number of people we have here today, the people that have come out to show their respect and admiration for the job done and for this community. And I would like to take just a moment and recognize those people on the podium. Beginning to my left, Sheriff Kazee is here, and we are glad that he was able to fit this into his schedule. Mr. Rodney Scott, the jailer, is here. Hillman Dotson, the magistrate for the area. We certainly thank you for being here and appreciate your efforts. I will introduce the board members in just a moment, so we'll go down the line. We have Judge Rutherford here. Judge has taken this opportunity out of his busy schedule to be here and take a look at this school, and we certainly appreciate that. Leo Murphy, the magistrate, we are glad to have him here. And down the line, Mr. Chuck Trimble. Mr. Trimble was the architect for the building, so all those things you like about that building, you can give him a pat on the back. Anything that you find that you want to criticize, then you go straight to Mr. Trimble. We also have three representatives here from the Codell Company. The Codell were the construction managers, and we certainly appreciate their efforts, and we appreciate them being here. I'm particularly pleased to be able to introduce to you our Board of Education. These members have worked long and hard to make sure that the opportunities are available for kids, and the building itself is a reflection of that effort on their part. So I'd like to introduce to you our board chair, Mr. Frank Ratliff. Mr. Ratliff, if you'd stand, please. Our board vice chair, Dr. Chuck Johnson. Dr. Johnson. Mr. Virgil Osborne. And Mr. Justin Maynard. And I would love to be able to introduce to you Mr. C.B. Billiter, but Mr. Billiter, yes, certainly. Those of you that know Mr. Billiter recognize that he spent a good deal of his past few months at that building looking over all the facets of the construction, and he was involved in a lot of the decisions there, and again, we want to thank him. He was unable to be here today, and I know that that's a difficult thing for him. His sister has some health issues, and he felt that he needed to be at the hospital with her. I would also say that Mr. Senator Ray Jones planned to be here. His father had some health issues just moments ago, and he followed him to the hospital. And Miss Representative Leslie Combs had planned to be here, and Representative Combs' father had a heart attack yesterday, and she felt the need to be with him. But she wanted me to let you know that her thoughts are with you, and that she would certainly like to be here today, and she will take an opportunity to come over and look at the building and visit with some people as time permits. We're also fortunate with us today to have the previous superintendent of the Pike County Schools, Mr. Roger Wagner. Mr. Wagner, his efforts have gone into the construction of that building. He was superintendent during the entire phase of construction. I was just able to come here and be a part of the dedication, and hopefully I can get some credit for that, but the credit for the construction under his leadership is due Mr. Wagner, and we're certainly glad that he was able to take time out of his retired schedule to be here today and speak with you. So I introduce to you the former superintendent, Mr. Roger Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Lester, and good afternoon to all in attendance. Certainly I appreciate the invitation that was extended to me to be here today, and as I drove up and kind of looked at both campuses, it just kind of come together, and it's very impressive as you come through and pull into the high school there. I just want to take a couple moments and kind of just generally go through how a lot of this developed and what happened. Is, I remember a meeting that we had in the old gym up at Phelps Elementary. There's a group of parents, very concerned parents, that had called and asked if I could be in attendance of a community meeting. I think this was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And the group was very vocal, to say the least. And they were vocal because of the building their kids were being taught in. They were concerned with safety issues, the water, just a tremendous number of comments that evening. And that night, I think there was a commitment made from the board member, Frank McGuire, at that time, and I was in attendance. We need to replace this school. And so what was decided later, and certainly things coming through the state, is they did an evaluation of the schools of the state of Kentucky, and they put them into categories. Phelps Elementary fell into the category of a category 5. What that means is Phelps Elementary was one, I think, of 15 of the worst structures in the state of Kentucky. And what the legislators and the governor decided to do at that time is make provisions for that, for the possibility of replacement. But that come at a cost. And the state was willing to put up a matching, as well as the district would have to formulate a formula to help in assistance with the funding as well. Certainly I appreciate our legislators at that time for making this provision, and I also appreciate the board that we had that stepped up to the plate and recognized that all kids of Pike County deserve equal opportunities, and certainly that structure needs to be replaced. And I remember of the kids eating in the cafeteria in that basement. I remember the principal calling me on numerous occasions at 5 or 6 in the morning, "Mr. Wagner, we've got water in our basement. We're without water today. The sewer's backed up." It was just numerous continuous things. And so it was well deserved that this school be replaced. Certainly I'm not taking all the credit, but I can tell you what, I'm glad to stand here today and tell you that you have one of the nicest facilities in the state of Kentucky, and I'm pretty proud of that. And I would like to leave you by saying that we wish you well. I think we had the facility, and as Mr. Lester had mentioned earlier, I think he's been working 6 days. I've been retired 6 days, and constantly people say, "Okay, what are you going to do now?" Well, I've had 6 Saturdays so far, so hopefully, we can continue that, and we appreciate the support I've seen through the years. We appreciate the good people of Phelps, and we wish you well. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Yeah, I'm going to introduce Keith Hall, even though I probably don't need to do that. You know him better than I, maybe, and I feel that I know him pretty well. Keith's been a part of this community for many, many years, a very important part of this community, and he's a true Hornet, and I guess once a Hornet, always a Hornet. He's just a supporter of this community, a supporter of this school. He's a supporter of this county. Representative Hall has done so much in terms of his tenure in the state legislature. He has worked with Representative Combs, Senator Jones. He's worked with the Speaker. He just does so much for us and our community. Even as of yesterday, I talked with him last night. He was telling me about a meeting he had yesterday, and the focus of that meeting was to try to make some good things happen for our school system, to try to make some good things happen for our kids. And I want you to know, and I want him to know, that we appreciate those efforts a great deal. We recognize that our students wouldn't be as well served at this point were it not for those efforts, and we certainly appreciate them and look forward to a continuing relationship with him and his efforts to make us a better school system. So it gives me a great deal of pleasure at this time to introduce to you your state representative, Mr. W. Keith Hall.
Thank you all. As I sit there mindful, I appreciate the warm welcome you have bestowed upon our friends. I don't know of a day, Eddie Blackburn, in 35 years in this community that we have had so many distinguished guests to be in this building, Nancy Casey. And it's a privilege, and it's a great day for Hornetville. It's a great day for the children of Hornetville. 35 years ago, Carl Bilter hired me to be a janitor at this gymnasium, Brandon Mayhorn. And I want to welcome the kids at Majestic who are being piped in today via Skype. Thank you, Brandon, for doing that. And hello to Majestic. But I remember cleaning this gymnasium at the McCoysville. 17 years ago, you elected me to be your board member. 13 years ago, my good friend and Judge Rutherford and I ran, and when we come to the mountain of Peter Creek, Judge Rutherford had a 600-vote lead on me, and we thought we was beat. But thank God to the people of Phelps, Freeburn, Majestic, Wolford, we turned that 600 defeat to a 600 victory. I'm always going to be indebted for you all for that. And Judge Rutherford and I today are best friends, and he's a great supporter of this community. As I sat here, I thought about the Declaration of Independence father, Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson said the greatest thing a leader can do is the education of its people. Thomas Jefferson would tell the Virginia legislature after he became president, if you all don't build a school for the people, they'll go to Kentucky and Cambridge and they'll leave this state. And he was talking about Transylvania and Harvard. I'm so proud to be part of the education we have here today. I remember Mr. Wagner and I, Virgil, stood on a stage at Mullins when Senator Jones and I got the money to build a new school at Mullins Elementary. And if you were there, you will remember what I said that day. I said, I'm the happiest guy here, Reed Atkins, because you know what? The next school to be built will be Phelps Elementary. And that's a promise. That's a promise we made. I remember the old gym, Charlie Polk Wooford, up there playing basketball, Marty. We'd give $1 to go in there and play. The WPA built that gymnasium. The men on the back of that wall, Tab and Mix McCoy, built this facility. And the best I remember, there was never a gymnasium built with state funds and money for Phelps. Boy, we've corrected a wrong that's been a long time, Brother Fields. And I'm telling you today, I told my friends from Codell Construction, I'm going to be biased. I don't know of a prettier facility I've ever been in my life than that grade school over there. It's beautiful. And I'm going to tell you what, Lori Dotson, our children deserve it. Our children and my grandchildren and your children and grandchildren deserve such a facility. Speaker Stumbo made me a promise. He said, Representative Hall, I've heard you get on the House floor as Hal Rogers has done many times in Congress, and I've heard you speak about the poor children of Peter Creek, about the bat manure in the ceilings, about the 2 or 3 4-inch cracks in the walls, about the sewer pipes over your head when you ate lunch. He said, I've heard you speak about them poor children, and I make you a promise, Representative Hall, we will find the money to build a new school in Peter Creek. It's good that you keep your promises. I can remember CB and Mr. Trimble coming to the Capitol a few months ago when we were trying to get funded and get a sportsplex. So we have a girls' softball field, Title IX regulation bill, asking first time ever. Never in the history we had a Title IX softball field for our girls. We'll have one of those now. A football field for our boys. They're up there practicing on my 35-yard property right now, practicing football. And we'll have a baseball field and a track. And it's going to be a first of the state-of-the-art facility, $8 to $10 million, that we'll have such a facility. Who for? You. You students, you children, and for the future. And I'm so proud that we had that. I'm going to tell you, Patrick Lester, Mr. Wagner said about that meeting that day. I stood in the meeting that day in that gymnasium when we had those irate parents, and your wife was brave enough to have that meeting, and Mr. Wagner and Mr. McGuire stood with me, and we made a promise. We will build you a new school. And I'm telling you today, I'm tickled pink, TJ, because here in Hornetville, we have such a facility. I work every day tirelessly. I don't apologize for the days I work at the Capitol, 17 last month, to get money from my people back in Pike County. And you can guarantee one thing, I'm all about Pond Creek. I'm all about Johns Creek, Reed. I'm all about Fedge Creek. But my heart's in Hornetville. And charity begins right here. It comes home first. And then we'll take that peanut butter and spread it all over that sandwich, Glendale. We'll all get a piece of that pie. And I just want to tell you how proud I am today that we have a Congressman, Hal Rogers, the king of pride and unite and the great things that Hal has done for this community and this county. He's the ANR chairman in the Congress. He holds the checkbook. I'm going to tell you what else I'm glad of. I'm glad Hal got to drive that 22-mile road, Master Dotson. Hal, I've still got my map of I-66 in my office where there was a 4-lane coming to Peter Creek. And my heart's desire and my goal, and I'm not ready to quit. I'm not ready to quit, Jackie Darrell. I want to see that 4-lane road be built to Peter Creek. And that's my goal. John F. Kennedy, a month before he died in October of '63, 50 years ago, signed the Appalachian Corridor G, what we call Route 119, Joe. We've got that today. I'm sure that I will not see it in my lifetime, but I want you children and students to remember that we had a conversation about a 4-lane to Peter Creek. That 22-mile of road that I think is the deadliest, most accident-prone road, coal trucks everywhere. But remember, we had the conversation, and we come on bended knee asking our congressman to remember us, and he will. He has plans for I-66, and one day we will fund it. But remember, we had the conversation of a 4-lane coming to Peter Creek. And I want to say then, if we can see that day come and we see the sportsplex built and we see that road being built, we will be like Churchill. We will say, this was our finest hour. God bless you all. I love you and I thank you for your support. And I'm honored today to introduce my congressman and your congressman, Hal Rogers.
Representative, thank you very much for the nice introduction. Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Judge, and distinguished platform, and ladies and gentlemen, what a delight it is for me to be here with you on this day, this great day, when you enter a new era in Phelps. And I'm delighted to be here to be a small part of it. I feel like I was going to receive a Purple Heart because of a problem with my hand. I cut it yesterday, but they rescued me from further trouble. Well, Mr. School Board members and all of you on the platform and all of you here, it is a wonderful, wonderful day. CB, thank you and the school board for inviting me to be a part of this great day. CB's family has always treated me like family when I visit Pike County. His mother, Bobby, and his father, Carl, who passed away several years ago, invited me into their home on many occasions, and I'll never forget their kindness. Is Bobby here, by the way? All right. You deserve the best here in Pike County, and I want to commend Senator Ray Jones, Representative Hall, Leslie Combs, and the Pike County School Board for securing the funding for this beautiful, new, handsome facility. In the past 4 years, your state legislators have secured more than $150 million worth of construction for Pike County, with more than $30 million of that for the Pike County School District, plus I hope many more to follow. Pike County Schools will also receive more than $5.4 million in federal funding for this school year. Education has always been a priority of mine. I grew up in Wayne County in a one-room school, my first 5 grades, and I'll never forget the difficulties that provided for us young people of that era. And I've seen what education can do for individuals and what it can do for a community and even a state. As your congressman, my goal for this region has been to expand educational opportunities so that no student has to leave home to get that education and follow his or her dreams. And as you know, particularly you mothers and dads, you know it's not the bricks and mortar that educates our kids. It's the people inside, the principals, the superintendents, the teachers, the coaches, the lunch ladies, the janitorial staff, who make the difference in the lives of our future leaders under their charge. And I'm going to do something different here. I want to ask the faculty and staff of this school to stand so that we can say a little bit of thank you for the great dedication they give us. Would you please stand? Stand up. Here they are. Just a little word of thank you for the people that make this school go. I want to commend the Pike County School Board also for working so closely with Pride, the cleanup program, and Operation Unite, the anti-drug fight, over the years to improve environmental education and drug-free education in your schools. 16 years ago, before Pride ever came into being, we had never heard the term environmental education. Thanks to the school board's partnership with the Pike County Pride Committee, you've had a Pride liaison visiting your schools, teaching some 4,000 students about taking care of the world around us. The board also has worked with Operation Unite to bring America Corps service members on board here at Phelps for the last 5 years. The statistics for math and reading scores have improved dramatically with our Unite Service Corps members. They believe in our kids. Our kids believe in themselves. A couple of weeks ago, I went down to Williamsburg to the Cumberland University and attended Camp Unite on the campus of the University of the Cumberlands in Williamsburg. Some of the most bold, impressive students at that camp from all over eastern Kentucky, some all the way from Pike County. Some of those students, in fact, are here today, I think, and I'm going to ask them if they attended Camp Unite last year, if they would stand and be recognized. All of you who attended the Camp Unite meeting in University of the Cumberlands, would you stand? Thank you. Thank you very much. We're proud of you. In fact, here are the names of the ones that went. Stephen Prater was the counselor. Courtney Bowling, Christina Bowling, Darrell Lane, Hannah Mayhorn, Zachary McClellan, Dylan New, Chrislyn Obermuller, and Sierra Sincel. Are any of those here by any chance? What? Are they here? Have them stand. Would you stand? The names I called. Stand up. Thank you. This year, the Unite anti-drug campaign kicked off a new scholarship program to college called I Am Unite Scholarship. 19 high school seniors who are involved with Unite clubs across the region were awarded $1,500 apiece. Two of those scholars, I think, are here today. They're twin sisters, Andrea and Audrey Smith. Are you all here? All right. We're all here today to inspire the leaders of tomorrow and help young people like Andrea and Audrey know that we care about them. We're here to help them succeed along with all of us. And that's why you built this beautiful new facility, state-of-the-art equipment. Train our educators to be the best. It's all for our children and our future. I'll leave you with this. You've probably never heard of Forrest Whitcraft, but he said something that has stuck with me, and I hope with you. He said, 100 years from now, it will not matter what my bank account was. It will not matter the sort of house I lived in or the kind of car that I drove. But the world may be different because I was important in the life of a child. Now, you're all important because that child is in your care, and it's in our care. And it's up to you and me, no one else, up to you and me, to be sure that we do all within our power, to be sure that that child's life is productive and headed in the right direction. And you're doing that with this beautiful new facilities at Phelps. At this new school, you will impact the lives of hundreds of children, thousands even, for the years to come. So make the most of it every day. And in your voyage, in your work in the future, in this wonderful new facility, I want to wish you Godspeed.